Let us now look at a student who comes to counseling with the problem that he cannot study again because he doesn't know the exact reason, but his mind feels like it is going to explode. As you might have deducted from the title itself, this person has got a family problem, and he doesn't know that this problem of his father owing lots of money to other people is causing him this problem called overthinking that is affecting his studies beyond his controlling capacity. So let's look at the symptoms. The typical symptom here is seen in the life event level. He will not be able to get good marks in exams, and that will create further guilt. In this way, there's a vicious circle happening. Besides that, at the emotional level, he will feel a constant draining feeling. At the cognitive level, he will feel that his mental resources are depleted every time thinking on how to solve the problem of his father having taken too much loan. All these turmoils inside this student leads him to engage in activities like gambling in the hope to make it big and solve the loan problem of his father once and for all. Again, this action of his further increases his guilt, and then the overthinking continues in his mind, moving around each of the above thoughts of loan, not able to be study properly, and the gambling problem, and so on. The cause of this problem is a real problem here, which is that it is true that his father is chewing more than he can swallow. The threat is real also that the creditors might come and possess all the assets that his family has, but the boy hasn't thought that far. Another reason for this boy's overthinking is his inability to see the situation as it is, indicating poor thinking skills. On top of that, this boy just wants to have a normal life like every other kid, not having to listen to his family pressuring him to study faster and work hard in order to repay the loans of his father. The remedy for this student is to look at the rectangle framework. He has to go through the four corners. At first, he must look at the potential best case scenario whereby the father is able to earn enough money to repay the loans. Then the worst case scenario is that he was lose the assets. Now we have to extrapolate a bit in this corner using the structured rectangle framework. If the assets are taken over by the creditors, then the boy and his family might end up homeless. That would be a really bad situation. Consequently, there would be a lot of discomfort and social disgrace. Next, we have to ask him what is the probability of this occurring. Are there other people in his village who are in a similar situation and who have been turned homeless by the creditors? At this point, he realizes that he has never thought that far. So, by helping this student think as far as he can, his problem of overthinking will become solved within a short time. Many people think that the solution for overthinking is to stop thinking. But this is the wrong solution. I know it's counterintuitive, but you have to think far as you can with the help of somebody who is unbiased towards you. Once you can achieve this depth, height, width of thinking, then the problem of overthinking will turn into a mindset of planning, or should I say strategic planning. Basically, the worries now turn into a constructive planning process. Coming back to the student earlier, in case he finds himself hopeless and socially disgraced, I have to ask him what would he do in such a case. Many times we are just afraid to think that far. But again, you cannot kill overthinking by suppressing thoughts. A student might simply reply that he will try again to start life, to drop his studies and get a job. That is the bright answer. And on the darker side, he might say that he want to end it all. In case he answers in the later format, then you have to ask him, is it worth it? And what will happen after that? Will the problem be solved? Obviously, he will say it won't be solved. In addition, because he started this whole overthinking process because of his love and attachment for his family, the prospect of ending his life isn't that attractive to him. That said, he has reached the end of this particular thought chain. Next, we come to the third corner of the rectangle. By now, his mind is quietened, having been tired by the long thinking process that he just went through. What he realizes is that he has basically two options. One is to quit his studies and get a job. The problem with that option is that this job won't pay him that much and it won't be long lasting because it would be a temporary one. Moreover, the actual situation at his home is not so desperate. Truth, upon thinking further and analyzing the situation, is that the boy just wishes that things were normal and he could have tranquility. He is not an imminent threat. His father is not in the edge of bankruptcy yet, and he can still afford his educational fees and living costs. What led him to gambling and thinking in all this manner is basically his attachment towards his family and his own need to be at peace. Then the first action that he needs to take is to be able to tolerate this unrest in his mind. Without taking such an action, he won't be able to find the peace anyway. By learning to tolerate the pain that the situation is causing him, will in fact relieve his pain. The other option that he has is to continue his studies and try to get a good job based on his academic degree. That will require several more years of studies for him. However, it will make the sacrifice of his father worthwhile. In addition, he could get a well paying job for a longer term. The action that is logical for him to take at this point is to study hard, pass the exam with as good grades as possible, and uh, apply for a university where he could study a subject which would land him a good job as soon as possible. Possible he could get a job on a part-time basis while he studies. Now, upon thinking in this line of actions to be taken, his mind is furthermore relaxed. Thinking basically collapses under the pressure of good intentions and correct planning. Now, moving to the fourth and last corner of the rectangle framework, we have the unknown. Has to accept that there is so many things that he will never be able to know. He be able to get a high paying job after his education? I wish, but that is still an unknown. Also doesn't know what his father is actually planning to do in order to clear his loans. Also doesn't know whether his father will add more loans and further a bigger mess. And these are all the unknowns that he has to learn to live with. Once the student is able to accept the fact that there are so many things that he will never be able to know fully, and he will find calm in his mind. This way, the student who came with the symptoms of the inability to study because of the family issues goes out of the counseling room with a great relief and a very effective plan, is prepared for the worst. Mind is no more oscillating between few thoughts, but instead is digging deep into various possible scenarios and developing strategies to counteract them. As before, he was a victim of some external events that was caused by father's past actions. Now he is a determined, strategic planner trying to fix a negative situation and turn it into a positive one. A long range mindset.